course you want to be a star. Why would you get into it otherwise? No, I want to be mediocre. I want to be at the bottom of the food chain as long as possible. No, sure, I had dreams of it. And I even moved to LA, moved to San Diego, and you know what? I just couldn't get into it. I just didn't like it enough to trade everything for that. I like being able to pick and choose what I do and not have the pressure of having to do something you don't like for money. That's every goddamn job on the planet. You know, that's what we try to get away from. Why bring that into comedy? I don't need a TV show. I don't want a TV show. I don't want to go to LA. I don't like all that shit. I don't like those places. You know, I live in paradise. I'm in the Pacific Northwest and I get to do what I want.
How old are you?
65.
So you started when you were 45?
Yeah, I think I was 45, 46, something like that. So I started really late for starting anything, but it took probably 5-6 years before it actually took over as my main source of income, you know. So I worked at the University of Washington, I worked at Harborview Hospital and UW Med Center, I worked for the aerospace and engineering department at UW, and was actually, that was my last real job where I had tenure or whatever, and they, you know, shit, if you stay here, you can retire in 20 years, and God, that's scary. If that doesn't make you move on, I'd rather take my chances in Idaho. You know, on a triple run and show up at the cubicle again today. It's just, I can't live like that. I'd rather be on the road, even horrible gigs are better than, you know, doing the same thing every day for a meaningless task. You know, not that comedy's not kind of meaningless too, but at least you can see your pile of chips in front of you. You can hear the people laughing. You know you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
The next comedian comes to the stage, James Heneghen.
I'm really high because that's the law now. They passed the law, and now we got to do that, and that's it. I was excited for a minute until I kind of read it and saw that, oh, okay, I can have an ounce of marijuana legally. Okay, and can I grow it? No. Oh, okay. Well, then can I buy an ounce of marijuana? No. The fuck? How about if an angel appears out of the fucking heavens and drops an ounce on me?
You had to go on the road. That's the only place you could work. There's only like 2 or 3 clubs in Seattle. You really couldn't do anything but open mic.
Do you have any, just that come to mind, any horrific road stories?
I did a show with Joe Vespasiani, you know, Joey, local comic, and we went way up to Dawson Creek, Canada. And I'd only been doing comedy a few months, you know, I was really green. We got up there, and I got up there, and I had my shit written on a beer bottle, because I had about 15, maybe 20 minutes. And I wrote it on a beer bottle, and the beer sweated and ran the material, so I couldn't read that. I got up there and started getting heckled by an 85-year-old woman in the front row. I know she's 85 because it was her birthday. And she started heckling, and they just destroyed her for probably 20 minutes the whole time, just nothing. And the place was just loud and crazy. And I was just rocked. I was like, oh, Jesus. And that was just the first show. So I went and sat down. Joey got up there, and he did 45 or whatever. And same thing, they just ignored him and just loud and crazy. And so he finally got through it, came back, and we're sitting there talking to the owner in the booth. And Joey looks at his watch, he says, well, it's almost 10 o'clock. He says, don't we need to get this first crowd out of here so we can do the second show? And the owner looked at him and she said, oh no, it'll be the same people. And Joey looked at him and said, there'll be no second show. And, oh, God, that probably the only reason I stayed with it another 19 and a half years. Because if it had me do that second show, I think I'd have quit. We're driving home, and it's way up in northern British Columbia, and it's snowing. It's like in February or something. And we see this light off in the distance. As we got closer, it would look like a brand new truck sitting on the side of the road, totally engulfed in flames. Nothing for miles. No people, no, we just kind of slowed down and made sure there was nobody in it and just drove off. So that was like, no, that's not weird at all. That's just normal.
How about if I score something from the Pope? Because they got a lot of smoke going on over there. Fucking guy quit the gig. Can you believe it? What's he gonna do? Yeah, that's it. He's out of work. He's fucked. You know, you can't go back after that. Right? Weren't you the Pope? You know. Now you're working at Subway. Sandwich artist with a weird hat. I'm not a religious person myself because I have other hobbies, and I can't spend a lot of time sitting around contemplating what's going to happen when I die. You know, it's all just scary because I think my grandma's going to be there, and that's just not fun. You know, there's clean comics and there's blue comics. I tend to be one of the blue comics. A clean comic is a comic whose mom is still alive. Once that bitch dies, you can say whatever you want. Good night.
Morgan and Christine Levine and Andrew Olay did 50 shows in 50 states. And it was in the middle of all this hurricane that was going on back on the East Coast, and they just went through hell and high water, literally, to do 50 shows, and they did all 50 states, and they pulled it off, which is pretty incredible considering they booked it all themselves, they set it up all themselves, and then they had to get in the car and go do it. And so I didn't want to go on that tour. So he came up with the idea, well, let's do it all in Washington. Let's do it all in one state, 50 shows in 50 days. And it kind of seems impossible again, but once you start putting it together, there's enough one-nighters and bars and stuff around the state that we could do it. 20 years ago, gas was probably $1.50 cheaper a gallon, and everything was less expensive. And now, shit, the gigs don't even pay as much as they used to. Gas is more expensive. You have to have some way to make up the difference. And people did it with CDs, and then they did it with DVDs, and now T-shirts are really popular. And you have to have some other, and that can double your income. You have something you can sell, you can actually make a living and get around. And it's made it a viable alternative to 9-to-5 existence for most of these guys. My son's a graphic designer, so he designs all the posters and T-shirts that I want to put out, and have him do it because I like what he does and he knows what I do, and we work well together. So everybody benefits, and I get what I want. So we're trying to up the quality to where put out a poster that's grabs your eye, not just bright colors with pictures of people with microphones. That's every goddamn comedy show here. It's all it is a stupid headshot. Okay, we get it. You're a comic. You have a microphone. We understand, but we're trying to do it a little different than that. This is how many we got? I think we only got 3 of them working, but these are the silk screens that we make. And there's mine. We make a shitload. There's one style, 50-50 tour, and we'll make a T-shirt of that and sell them after the shows. This is my big Heneghen thing, obviously. Got it on all my fucking shirts, and I don't know. It's just kind of fun. You know what I mean? God damn it, if I have to wear a name on my shirt, I want my fucking name on my shirt. I don't want some football player or some shit like that, but
interviews of the 60 hours of interviews. These are just, you know, it's pretty ratty now, but I mean, and then I would just go over them and try to organize them into something, and you know, it's like this one's Tom Arnold and this one's Dane Cook, and you know, so it was also hard to find. Like I'm not good at organizing, so this was not really my bag, but that was a lot. And I would never do it this way again. I would hire someone from a foreign country to do it.